What if the greatest cost of divorce isn't what you've already lost? What if the greatest cost is staying stuck because you're too afraid to move forward? Are you a divorced woman in your 50s or 60s who spends years waiting to feel ready, waiting for confidence, waiting for certainty, waiting for someone to show you exactly what to do? But while you're waiting, something incredibly valuable is slipping away. That's time. Today, we're going to talk about the hidden cost of staying stuck after divorce and why taking imperfect action may be one of the most important decisions you make for your future. If you've been feeling trapped between fear and hope, this message is for you. Hi friends, and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Steph from Alberta, Canada. Having lived through 2 divorces, the first in my mid-30s and the second in my early 50s, I know what it's like to be stuck in my fears, in my negative mindsets, stuck in my vision to see my way forward. Over time, I've found tools and strategies to unstick my life, and I'd like to share those with you today. Now, as a Christian life coach, I help divorced women over 50 rebuild their confidence, strength, their faith, and create a future filled with purpose and possibility. If you're interested in online coaching, support groups, workshops, or destination retreats, check out my links in the description below. Today, I'd like to start by asking some questions as to why you are staying stuck. Do you feel like you're being held back because of a lack of ability, or by hesitation, or waiting until you feel more confident, or more prepared, or more knowledgeable, or more certain? Well, it may surprise you that your confidence often comes after you begin, not before. Today, I want to encourage you to examine whether fear has convinced you to stay stuck in a place God never intended for you to remain. There are 4 common traps that you can fall into that will keep you stuck. Next, we'll take a look at them. And then I'm going to follow up with 4 action steps to help you get unstuck. So number 1, let's examine what staying stuck really looks like. When you hear the phrase staying stuck, do you often imagine someone doing absolutely nothing? But staying stuck can be much more subtle than that. It can look like endlessly researching without ever making a decision, watching videos but never taking action, talking about goals without creating a plan, praying for change while resisting the opportunities, dreaming about a better future while remaining frozen in fear. From the outside, it may appear that life is moving forward, but internally, you are standing still. And the longer you stay in that place, the harder it becomes to believe change is possible. Number 2, why does divorce create fear of moving forward? Well, let's be honest about it. Divorce changes more than your relationship status. It can affect your confidence, your finances, your sense of identity, your trust in your own judgment. After experiencing such a painful transition, it's understandable that you'll become cautious. You don't want to make another mistake. You don't want to risk failure. You don't want to experience more disappointment. So instead, you wait and wait and wait. But eventually, waiting becomes its own risk. Number 3, so what is the cost of all this waiting? There is a cost to every decision, even the decision not to decide. And when you delay learning, you lose valuable time. And when you delay growth, you miss opportunities. When you delay action, you often strengthen the very fears you're trying to overcome. Think about where you'd be today if you'd started learning a new skill 1 year ago or 5 years ago. Imagine how much confidence you might have gained by this point. How much knowledge you might possess already. How many opportunities might have opened up to you. This isn't about blame or regret. It's about recognizing that the best time to start may have been years ago, but the second best time is today. In the Old Testament, there's a scripture verse that shows us that paralysis by analysis is not a new thing. It says in Ecclesiastes 11:4, "Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap." So what does that mean? Well, we as believers should not wait for the perfect, risk-free conditions to act. We're all encouraged to step forward in faith even when our outcomes are uncertain. There are natural risks in life, but trusting that God directs the results gives us freedom to move forward rather than freezing in fear. It means if we wait for perfect conditions, we will never begin. There will always be reasons to delay, always uncertainties, always risks, always unanswered questions. But farmers don't wait for the perfect conditions before they plant. They plant in faith. And in many ways, building your new future requires that same mindset. You may not have all the answers, but you can still take the next step in faith. And number 4, the real myth of someday is all too true. Your personal growth is completely hinging on someday. Someday I'll learn that skill. Someday I'll explore that opportunity. Someday I'll start taking my future seriously. Someday I'll stop letting fear control me. The problem is that someday has a habit of turning into years, and before you know it, valuable opportunities have passed you by. My friend, your future is being shaped by the choices you make today, not the intentions you have for tomorrow. I want to encourage you with some strategies that will help you move from being stuck to unstuck. So number 1, small steps create big changes. Maybe you've become overwhelmed because you're focusing on the entire journey. You may be thinking that you need a complete roadmap ahead, a perfect strategy, guaranteed results. But that's not how transformation happens. Transformation happens one step at a time. One lesson learned, one phone call made, one course completed, one new skill developed, one act of courage repeated consistently. Meaningful change rarely starts with the perfect plans. It's the willingness to take imperfect action. Number 2, fear shrinks when you make a move. Have you ever noticed that fear often feels the biggest before you begin something? Before the first class, before the first video, before the first step, before the first conversation. But once you begin, something interesting happens. You realize the challenge isn't as impossible as you imagined. You discover you can learn. You discover you can adapt. You discover you can grow. Action doesn't eliminate the fear immediately, but it often reduces its power. Movement creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. Number 3, what could your future look like? Imagine where you could be 1 year from now. Imagine having learned new skills. Imagine feeling more confident with technology. Imagine having an additional source of income. Imagine rebuilding financial confidence. Imagine knowing you're actively creating a future instead of merely reacting to circumstances. None of those outcomes happen overnight. but they all begin with a decision to stop waiting, a decision to stop letting fear lead you, a decision to believe that growth is still possible. Number 4, the legacy you're creating is very important. Have you ever considered that you are inspiring your children and grandchildren by demonstrating resilience? Imagine what they learn when they watch you continue growing, especially after disappointment. And when they see you learning new skills, taking courageous steps, trusting God despite all the uncertainty, refusing to quit. That's a powerful legacy. You are teaching them that setbacks are not endings. You are teaching them that faith in God helps you move forward. You are teaching them that it's never too late to begin again. So if you've been waiting for confidence before taking action, let me encourage you with this truth. Confidence is often the result of action, not the prerequisite. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to eliminate every fear. You don't have to guarantee success. You simply need to take the next step. That one that God is placing in front of you. Don't let another year pass wishing things were different. Don't allow fear to steal that time that can never be recovered. The future you're hoping for begins with the choices you're making today. And today's choices matter more than you realize. So if this video encouraged you, please like, subscribe, and share it with another woman who may need this reminder. And if you're ready to stop feeling stuck and start exploring practical ways to build confidence, learn new skills, and create new opportunities for your future, I've included links in the description below that may help you take your next step. Remember, my friend, you do not need to move mountains today. You simply need to take one faithful step. God can do extraordinary things with that. And your next chapter may begin sooner than you think. Get ready to live your new life, and I'll see you in the next video.